shells that have been found at Sandy Hook. Which means when we get out onto the beach, you have an opportunity to look for shells like this. It doesn't mean you'll find perfectly intact, huge shells, right? But you might get lucky and you might find a perfect shell.
What's that loggy looking shell?
I'm going to talk about pretty much everything in this box. So everything of importance and of notice is going to get explained. So there's two types of shells, two scientific genres, if you will, of shells. They're called bivalves and univalves. Does anyone, before I say anything about what they are, have any guesses as to what the difference is? A bivalve and a univalve.
Did you say it was like, did you say, they look kind of like those two, like that one that looks like it stick together, and that one, that loggy one?
Okay, you're kind of, when you said stick together, is kind of on the right track, a little bit. Go ahead. Two, right, so which one is two? Bivalve or univalve?
Bivalve.
Bivalve, that's right. And then univalve means what?
One.
One. So bivalve means two shells. Univalve means one shell. Just like a bicycle has two wheels, right? And a unicycle has how many wheels?
Three.
One. Tricycle has three wheels. All right, so bicycle, bivalve, two. Unicycle, univalve, one.
I was about to say.
A unicycle is a one-wheeled.
Yeah, people like circus.
Yeah, they use them in the circus. That's right. Yep. Okay. Okay. So this shell is called a surf clam shell.
A surf.
Mm-hmm.
You surf on it?
When I pass this, I'm going to talk about what happened to the shell just in a little bit. Right.
Maybe somebody stepped on it.
So you'll notice when I pass around this shell, it's very thick.
It looks like the mat.
It's sturdy. Just don't try and break it though, because it'll break. An imprint of what?
Like a maraca. By Miss McQueen.
I think that's just how it broke, just by chance. Okay, so this is a surf clam shell. What do you think shells are made out of?
Maybe like rocks.
Rocks, good guess.
I think they're made out of maybe. Solid things.
Solid things, good guess.
I think it's made of like what he said.
Solid things. We'll take one more guess.
Fossils.
Fossils. Also a good guess. Okay, shells are made out of calcium carbonate. Just like our bones are made out of calcium, right? It's kind of similar, a little bit different though than our bones. But calcium carbonate is a really big component in a seashell. Alright, so I'm going to pass this around. The surf clam shells you can find on the beach, definitely here. Okay, we have a lot of them here at Sandy Hook. We have a lot of surf clams. You typically can find them anywhere on the beach I found here, up on the dry sand, closer to the water, pretty much anywhere you go on the beach. However, the surf clams typically live where the water meets the beach, and that's called the surf, and that's how they get their name. So that's a bivalve, okay, so remember, if that was a living organism, it would have two shells. And what do shells do? Shells aren't the organism itself, okay? Shells, what? They protect what's living inside, right? So two shells would open up like this, okay? And there would be the clam living inside the shell.
It's like the things with the pearl inside, are they shells?
Okay, that'll be my next shell I'm going to talk about. This is called an oyster shell.
Is that broke?
Yes, this one is broken. So this is an oyster shell. You can find these here too. Like I said, that's very hard sometimes to find perfect shells like this. You may find pieces. And if you find a nice piece and you want to know what it is, come to either myself or Kathy and we'll help explain it to you. Okay, so again, a bivalve. Right. Now these shells don't belong together, okay? One's big and one's small. But just to give you an idea of what a bivalve is, right? They have a hinge, and they can open and close, and the organism, the oyster, lives inside. Oysters can grow pearls, yep. It's all dependent on how much nutrients they get inside of them. Finding a pearl, though, is pretty rare around here, especially. It's not really the right time, the right place to find it. But maybe if you were lucky, if you spent a lot of time looking for oysters, maybe you would find one. Who knows?
Where's these little holes?
I'm gonna talk to about what caused those. So we'll just leave this here.
Maybe heart rate.
Oh, condensing.
And the limes. The limes could tell how old they are, right?
Yeah,
trees?
Yeah, kind of like trees.
Also, they have chalk inside.
It's not really chalk. That's actually the calcium carbonate. Okay, so this next shell is also a clam shell. What's different about it? The shape, the size, the knob right up at the top is different.
I know. I know. Because that belongs to a clam.
Right, but
Like
this is also a clam though.
I know.
That's an oyster what I passed around. You can sit here and just read it. Yeah, go ahead.
One has colors and one doesn't.
Okay, yeah, one has colors, one doesn't. Okay, so this, guys, relax.
No. I'm
This
doing
clam
it.
shell, guys, relax. This clam shell is called a quahog. Guys, this is called a quahog clam shell, okay? What's special about quahog clam shells is that they have purple on the inside. This one doesn't have a lot.
I didn't do it, man.
Guys, listen. This one doesn't have a lot of purple inside of it, but some of them do, okay? A lot of times you'll find just pieces of the purple. Does anyone know what the purple is called? The Native Americans used it as money, as jewelry, but it's got a special name. Wampum. When the Lenni Lenape Indians here used wampum for currency, they called it wampum. Alright, so whenever you find purple
Yeah, I'm doing that.
at the beach, you could find wampum. And then what? You'll be rich, right? Because you'll go home with lots of wampum.
What is
No, it's not money anymore. Okay, so this is another type of shell. You can pass it around. Again, a bivalve. Another type of bivalve you will find here. Anybody have any idea what this is? It's just discoloring for being old.
Maybe it's like a. It looks like a spoon, but it feels like a. Can you put it together? See how it looks.
So this is called a mussel, right?
Oh yeah.
This is a mussel shell. Oh yeah, it kind of does look like it. So again, this is a bivalve. The oysters just really protect themselves. The calcium carbonate kind of builds up on top of itself and fortifies. Yeah. A lot harder, a lot more difficult to break than something like this that you'll see is very, very thin compared to an oyster shell like that.
Is it like really? Is it like it's easy to break?
This, yes.
I think it's just most of it. Cause it's something behind this shell. It looks like something. It feels big.
It's all the shell itself. That's just the interior of it. All right, so here's mussel shell. So I'm gonna pass that around. Here's another bivalve. This shell looks completely different than the other ones I've passed around, right?
Yeah.
The shape is different, the color is different, the ridge pattern is different, the points here are different. This is a scallop shell.
Sometimes they have decorations like that.
Yeah, a lot of times people make necklaces out of shells like this, little scallop shells. Okay, so you can pass this around too. Again, it's a bivalve, right? I haven't even started talking about univalves yet.
My grandma has something that looks like soap.
Oh yeah? Here's another scallop shell. Also really beautiful.
Oh, I like that one better. You got a lot of scallop shells.
Here, you can pass
Pass it around. What kind of shell is that? That looks like a star.
Nope. You guys will have your opportunity to go looking for shells.
Okay.
Oh, I want to look for that one.
Okay.
I want to look for that.
So,
that's a clam.
I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah, you just looked at it.
Okay. All right. So one more type of bivalve that you can find here pretty regularly is called a razor clam. I'm going to ask when I pass this around. Are you paying attention? When I pass this around, be very gentle with it, okay? Because it is still hanging on by a thread, okay? So don't open and close it. But this is a pretty much intact bivalve, okay? Although it's not living anymore, there is no muscle inside of the shell. Or no clam inside of the shell, rather. This is a razor clam. Where do you think they got the name from it from? Because that's just the nickname, right? That's not the scientific name.
Because it looks like a razor.
It looks like a razor, yeah. A lot of like have you ever seen old movies where men shave their face with something that looks like this?
That looks like it looks like there's just a tornado in it.
Oh yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah, that's a good observation. All right, so here's a razor clam. You can find those here too. They're not going to hurt you. They're not sharp like razors. That's not why it got its name. It got its name from the shape. A lot of shells, it's probably a generator. A lot of the shells get their nicknames, like what we call them, from the shape, okay?
I need a clam.
So.
Let me get a clam. All those parts feel like it's made of.
I'm gonna go back to this surf clam shell, okay? Even though I already finished talking about it.
Oh, I want to see them.
So some of you asked about the little holes in it. Okay. Do you think the holes were man-made, or do you think they were caused by something in the ocean? So what do you think? Going back to what I kind of mentioned before about predator-prey. In this situation, what do you think a clam is? Do you think a clam is a prey or a predator? Before I even tell you.
Prey.
Who thinks it's a predator? Who thinks a clam is a predator? Raise your hand.
No.
All right, who thinks a clam is prey? Raise your hand. Okay.
A clam is prey.
In this situation, because clams are bottom feeders, that means they act as filters in the ocean. They're not necessarily predators, okay? They prey on microbacteria and all the, excrement and stuff in the water. They clean it, all right? So that's what they feed on. A clam, though, is prey to a type of univalve. And that type of univalve, let's see if I can find one, looks like this, okay? So what's the difference that you can see between a univalve and a bivalve shell now that I'm holding it in my hands?
This is smaller than this, so how could this be?
Okay, that's a good question. How could this be a predator, right? And this, are you breaking my shells?
Oh, I'm just looking at
Okay, go ahead.
how old they are.
What's the difference?
One doesn't belong to an animal and one does.
Okay, nope. They both are actually houses to animals. The univalve, right, it's all just one continuous shell. So like the hermit crab or snail, yep, that lives inside of it, okay? It can suck itself up into it. And then it's got a foot that covers this hole.
This
okay?
is 13 years old.
I have a feeling it's probably older than that.
19.
So this shell, this univalve shell that I'm holding in my hand right now, any guesses as to what this is? It's a snail. It's called a moon snail. And does anyone watch SpongeBob?
Yes. And Gary.
Gary, that's right. It's Gary, okay? So Gary the moon snail is actually a predator in real life. And what he'll do is he'll crawl along the bottom of the ocean until he finds a clam, and he'll sit right up on top of it, okay? And with his foot, he'll drill a hole into the shell, one hole. This one has many holes. So this one wasn't preyed upon by a moon snail. It was preyed upon. But Gary the snail, he'll climb up on top of the shell, drill a hole into it, and eat the insides, okay? Not necessarily the clam, but he'll take, nutrients from the inside.
Oh, I thought he'll steal it.
Well, what happens, though, is the clam does die from that, okay? So this is Gary. He's a predator, and he's called a moon snail, so you can pass that around. So actually what happened to this shell, with all the little tiny holes, perfectly round holes that you see, it wasn't preyed on by multiple snails. It was actually preyed on by a sea sponge. SpongeBob, okay?
That's SpongeBob?
This is what SpongeBob looks like in real life.
But I thought he was like straight.
He's all dried out now, okay? He's not yellow. So the same way that a snail feeds, so does the sponge. He'll find the clam, sit up on top of it, and all these little branches that you see house little tiny organisms, okay? And those organisms are what drill the holes into the shells.
So that's why
That probably just broke.
that's why he always. That's why him and Gary are with each other.
Could be friends, yeah, because they're both predators maybe, so they don't prey on one another. So whenever you see a shell, any type of shell with lots of perfect little holes in it like this one, it was a sponge, okay? And if you see a shell, sometimes you find shells with one perfect little hole in it, and that means it was preyed on by a snail, okay?
What was that star-looking clam?
I'm gonna get to everything. Hold on one second. Alright, let's see. Okay, so Here are two other types, or it's one type rather, but there's two subspecies, okay? This is also a univalve.
That looks like a tornado.
One shell, it does look like a tornado, that's a good observation. Alright, these are called
Little
whelks.
man.
If you were to go down to Florida or the islands, they would call them conch.
I have
Okay,
a
conch
nose, but
shells.
it's like I have like a big version, and if you put your ear into it, you can see.
Yeah, people say you can hear the ocean, but it's actually not the ocean, it's just your body reverberating back into it. Yeah.
Yes.
Alright.
Yep.
So,
I want to hear the ocean.
okay, listen. So these two types, they're both whelks. However, they're different. One up here, if you have to look up at the top. Up here, the one in my left hand has knobs, okay, little points at the top of it. The one in my right hand is pretty smooth up at the top. One of these shells is the state shell of New Jersey. Who thinks it's the shell in my left hand? With the points and the knobs. Who thinks it's the shell in my right hand? With the smooth top. The state shell of New Jersey, one of them is.
I think this one is.
Okay, the state shell of New Jersey is the knobbed one.
Yes, I knew it.
The knobbed one. The one in my left hand. That is the state shell of New Jersey. So I'm going to pass it around. I'm going to pass it around and you can compare them both. Be careful though, okay? Be delicate with them. Be gentle. You'll notice that this shell, when I pass it around, has a pretty perfect hole in it. That means it was actually preyed on. Okay?
Who was it preyed on?
Not necessarily by something of its own species, but maybe a snail, a different type of snail, okay?
Oh, snail.
Yes, that's a sponge.
What?
Smell it. You too.
That's a sponge?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like.
Yep.
What is a sponge doing in a beach? Ew.
They live in the ocean,
The smell.
under the sea.
It smells. Wait. The sponge smells.
Guys, you should hear this.
Alright, now that I just talked about the whelk, are you still paying attention? Now that I talked about the whelk, I'm going to talk about this. Any guesses as to what you think this is?
Ew. That must be a caterpillar.
Scientists, right?
Is that a caterpillar?
What is that?
That might be
Guesses. I
a
want
dead
your guesses.
caterpillar.
Caterpillar.
Seahorse.
All good guesses. This is actually a whelk egg sac.
Is this the really sound of the ocean?
Yeah. It's your body. It's your body reverberating itself into the hole. If you're done with the shells, I'm going to ask you to put them here, so that way if other people want to see them, they can. Yeah. Okay, so this is the whelk egg sac. What happens is these guys, like what I just passed around, lay these, okay? And each one of these little pockets have hundreds of eggs inside of them, okay? So these pockets with hundreds of eggs inside of them don't all hatch, though, unfortunately. Alright? Because why? When these are in the water, they're not well protected. Don't throw my shells. When these are all in the water, they're not well protected, okay? They're kind of soft, mushy. Alright? So these become prey for lots of different types of predators. Lots of fish eat these. There's really no self-defense mechanism on these. When I pass them around, be delicate with them because they're very fragile. And you can give them a little shake and you can hear all the dried up eggs inside of it. You don't have to touch it if you don't want to. Don't smell it because you're grossing yourselves out by smelling stuff. Even though they don't really have smells because they're all clean.
It smells like old stuff.
Old stuff. So
Smells like the
here's whelk egg sac.
1855.
They're kind of like little maracas sounding like it. Yeah, but they're all dried out. They're not going to hatch or anything like that. Let's see. What else do I want to talk about?
Why you
Okay, so let's see if I can find it. All right. This. Does everybody see this?
I found that before.
Yeah.
At the beach.
It looks like
Yep.
It looks like a what do you call those things on the
Flag.
the flag?
A flag. Okay, good guesses. One more.
I think it's like a
This is holy. This is
Okay,
nice.
that's a good guess. Alright, so this, guys, listen. This is actually another type of egg sac. Alright? So unlike the whelk egg sac that has lots of hundreds and hundreds of little eggs inside of it, this guy would only have one organism inside of it. And this is actually laid by dogfish or dog shark, if you want to call them that.
dog shark.
Okay. They're laid by skate. skate kind of look like stingrays or flying fish, if you know what those are. Okay, so one guy lives inside of this. Now imagine you found this, right? You were a fish, you were hungry, and you saw this floating around the ocean. Would you eat this?
Nah.
Do you think you would try it? Why not?
Nah.
Why?
Too black and dusty.
But if this was in the ocean, it would be plump, it would be, you know, there's a living creature inside of it. Imagine taking a bite.
Yeah.
These will hurt. These will stick into the roof of a fish's mouth, okay? So this is a lot
Do they hurt in your hands?
a lot more guarded than the whelk egg sacs. So fish don't really eat these. That's why they only lay one at a time, because these have a better survival rate than the whelk egg sacs do. Okay. This also, when it's wet, is very leathery. It's very thick. It's hard to break. So you can't. If you were a fish, you probably couldn't chew it very well. So when the skate hatches, it pops out at one end, and then it swims away, and it starts a life.
Wait, that's when?
This is an egg sac.
So does that's swim?
The living thing inside it would swim when it hatched out. It
I'm
would come out
doing
one
that.
end, and then
Wait, is it?
this is left over. No. This
And
is
for reader.
empty. Yeah, go ahead.
Is it pointy? Can it hurt you?
If you pinched it hard enough, it would probably hurt. Or you would break it,
But-
so don't.
But
Do not do that. What are you wrong with you?
You can feel it. You can feel them. You can give them a little poke, but I'm saying you can't squeeze it. Don't break it. Be gentle with it.
Be careful.
Question? Yeah?
I'm doing NASA and for reader, since she's over here being like,
A big shell? Like what? Like this?
yeah.
A piece of a whelk. This is just a piece of a whelk.
What?
This one
Yes, I see it.
is just old moon snail
What?
shell. From my box to what? To keep.
What?
Sit down on your
Oh, you
on your
like me?
bottom, all right? Yeah, I'm gonna talk about everything, all right? I just don't want just don't break it in. Okay, so since I was talking about a skate, guys, this is cool too. This you won't really find a lot, but this is the skeleton. This is a skeleton of a skate head, okay? So this, when it was alive, would hatch one of those black mermaid purses that I passed around, okay? You can call them a mermaid purse.
A mermaid is not
Their
real.
nickname are, okay?
Naya. No, I said no. No, it's not.
Speaking of mermaids, now here's another little bivalve that you can find lots of at Sandy Hook. These are called gem clams, okay? Gem clams because of the color, because they're very delicate, right? Easy to break. Lots of colors. You can find purple, orange, clear. They're cool. A lot of times these gem clams will have that one perfect hole, and you could make a really cool necklace out of it or something like that.
So this is dead?
These actually, there's a perfect little hole in it. So these gem clams, guys,
Yeah.
to tie it into what I was talking about, the mermaid purse,
Right.
these you can call mermaid scales,
Right.
mermaid toenails. All right. All right. Let's see. What else do we have at Sandy Hook?
Sandy Hook.
Oh, that's a big.
The Bandy Hook.
Okay. So
That's a handy
this
hook.
is not a sea animal. Okay. This is not an egg sac from a sea animal. I'm gonna pass it all around.
But it looks just like a little smaller.
Yeah, it kind of looks like the mermaid's purse that I passed around, right? This is actually a seed pod, okay? So it kind of is like an egg sac seed pod. And this is from a plant here at Sandy Hook. It's very invasive. It's a plant from Asia, and it's no good here because it kills everything around it. So this is called a devil's head because of the shape and because how much of a nuisance it is. No, it's not broken.
Wait, come on.
That's a double.
Okay.
Here, on pass center. What happened to my semicircle?
I was just taking a close look at it, so the people on YouTube will see.
This one?
What about it? All right, this here
Mine.
is part of a crab shell, all right? This guy's called a spider crab. If he had his legs would be so long and so pointy with joints and everything like that. So you can find spider crabs. The last time I was out on North Beach where we're gonna go, I found a couple of these. These are pretty cool. So long as there's nothing dead inside of it, they're kind of cool. But if it does have leftover animal in it, you don't want to take it. It's gonna smell really bad.
But if we find one after we
Of course.
Yeah, so long as it's not living.
It looks like crab.
Alright, so this stone,
It looks like crab leg.
it's part of crab. So this stone, guys, it's called Thirsty Stone. I don't know if it'll work today. Let me see if we can try it out.
What?
But the Thirsty Stone works like a sponge, okay? When it's really, really hot out. It's okay. When it's really, guys, listen, back up so everybody can see. When it's really, really hot out and the stone heats up outside, if you pour water on it, it'll absorb the water. I don't know how well it'll work today because it's not so sunny. But if you pour a little bit of water, instead of it running off, it'll absorb into the... See how that worked?
Okay. There's a bug on you.
See how it was there and then it disappeared?
That's a cutest thing.
Watch it disappear now. Don't step on my shells. Do not step on my shells.
I did!
Right, here, I'm going to show you over here.
I cannot see. Because you're laying. Ow, ow, ow. Ow. What happened to yours? It looks like a stop. You can hear it.
It'll disappear, watch.
It's not doing it. Looks like a sponge.
It's cool, huh? Yep. So that's called Thirsty Stone. You guys, don't lean on my shells. Don't break my stuff. You're being very rude right now with this stuff laying out.
Oh, I've never seen this one. That's the best.
Alright, so that's Thirsty Stone. So you can find pieces of that here on Sandy Hook too.
That's
Kind of always thirsty, yeah. You can pass that around if you want.
I didn't see it yet. Can you do this?
This is just coal.
Coal. They use it for fire for a train.
Here you go, here. Here's one though.
Okay, you'll see it. You'll see it. I'll make sure you see it.
One diesel right here. Yeah.
Okay, this stone, it's kind of like naturally glittery, okay? We didn't put glitter in it. This is called schist stone. Manhattan
Oh, I should miss
schist.
a V.
Okay, alright.
Okay.
I think my uncle.
This is the
So what
end.
we're gonna do now,
It is
pass back
high
all my shells, all my stones.
We're going to the beach to get shells.
Yes.
Oh yeah!
I'm sorry. Why would you scream like that?
I'm sorry, I was excited. That happened that I'm excited.
Here, Jason.
It's all up to your teachers.
Do we need to bring these? Or we're
Nothing.
Can we wear flip-flops?
If it's okay with you, so long as you always have shoes on your feet. Yep. Alright, so this is the Thirsty Stone, right? You want to see it one more time? Did you record it?
Yes. We've been here for 20
Okay.
You ready? You want to videotape it? Watch it disappear.
Okay, stop.
I want to have.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay, guys. Me and Farida. Standing.
Alright, so we're going to go back over to the bus now.
No. Wait.
Guys,
We're going. Miss Warrior. We're gonna go get collect shells. Okay. We're gonna collect shells. We'll learn about the shells. No, so I cannot tell her. I'm gonna go.
She already knows. I already told her.